Welcome to the Channel for Grace. Gobind will be live shortly. Book a tarot or astrology reading on our website, channelforgrace.guru, and check out our latest programs and classes. Please give us a share and a like, and we hope you enjoy the broadcast. Welcome to the Channel for Grace. Gobind will be live shortly. Book a tarot or astrology reading on our website, channelforgrace.guru, and check out our latest programs and classes. Please give us a share and a like, and we hope you enjoy the broadcast. Welcome to the Channel for Grace. Gobind will be live shortly. Book a tarot or astrology reading on our website, channelforgrace.guru, and check out our latest programs and classes. Please give us a share and a like, and we hope you enjoy the broadcast. Satnam, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Gobind, and this is your Channel for Grace. Thank you guys so much for being here live, and thank you to those of you that are watching the replay. We're going to talk today about the astrology of the new moon solar eclipse happening in the sign of Libra on October 2nd, which is next week. So it is coming up. The moon is waning right now. She's going to be in her balsamic phase into the weekend and into next week, and we'll feel this sort of internal moment of reflection and preparing, because a new moon is always about setting intentions, but an eclipse brings in the themes that we're going to be working through for the next 6 months. The eclipses happen every 6 months. And so when you are looking into the astrology of the eclipse or any eclipse in general, you want to make sure that you're taking into account that whatever is showing up in your life at this time is actually going to be a theme for you that you will be working on for the next 6 months. So that's kind of a big deal. Anyways, before we dive into the astrology, and I am going to show you the chart, I want to just invite you to subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit the notification bell. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up and share it out. I also have a free moon astrology guide that you can download. All the links are in the description below. Once you download this guide, it will tell you what your psychic gifts are based off of your moon sign. It also enters you into my email list, and I send out a weekly Moon Magic Report, which is basically the horoscope for the week. Hello, Mary. Welcome in. Hello, Jeanette. Welcome in. I also have some awesome courses happening right now. We have a goddess astrology course, a 6-week course that we are currently in. It's got 2 more sessions. We're going to do one tomorrow and then one next week. But in this class, we have been diving into everything about the goddess found within the realm of astrology and how you can find these like goddess markings in the chart. We're talking about the elemental goddesses. We're talking about the asteroids, because a lot of the asteroids have the sacred divine feminine energy. And it's been super fun to do. So come join us. It's still not too late. The class will stay up, and it will basically have all the replays there, so you can still purchase it even now and catch up with the replays. Definitely a really fun class. We also did the STARSEED Astrology School, which was really fun, and that one's already up and ready to go. So you can also learn how to do Starseed readings yourself as well. Hello, Tara. Welcome in. And the other school I have currently going on, this is a year-long astrology mentorship. And you can learn to interpret astrology. Every month we cover a different topic. Every month we go in a little bit deeper into that specific topic and in general within the astrology. We have lecture sessions once a month and then discussion sessions once a month. We meet roughly the second and fourth week of second and fourth Saturday of every month. And I do recommend that you are able to join these classes live. But if you can join us, then please join us and learn how to read astrology yourself. All right, we're still working out the green screen details. It's kind of having its little heyday back there. So just ignore that. It'll just keep doing that all night. But again, thank you guys for being here live, and thank you guys for watching the replay. Hello, Bernadine. Welcome in. So I am going to do a screen share, and let me make sure I am actually sharing the iPad on the screen. Soon you will see it pop up. We got a code to put in. All right. Okay, so you guys should be able to see it now. I'm just going to move this over a little bit on my screen so I can see this better. So here we are. We just came out of a transit of a lunar eclipse, like almost a couple weeks ago. And that meant that we were officially into eclipse season, which is a time of revolution, a time of change, a time of just in general, a lot of things kind of changing and transforming and shifting, and, you know, big themes showing up for us in life that are definitely, again, themes that we will be working on for the next 6 months. That's why you have to pay attention to what is actually happening during this eclipse. During the actual time in between eclipses, all the things, even in the news, you guys, like even when you look at the news and you see all the stories showing up, like these stories are going to be ongoing for the next 6 months. So definitely want to think twice before going to a Diddy party. No, I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding. I couldn't help myself. But here we have on the screen this information from my book, Seasons and Stargates, your annual astrology guide, which is available for purchase. You've got a whole half of the year, basically, of astrology within this book. It goes through each of the seasons, tells you the astrology of the seasons, the energy of the seasons, how to prepare, where to look for it in your chart. It's a really cool book. And I will be releasing one next year as well. And I will be kind of starting to write that very soon. So here we go. New moon solar eclipse in Libra. The first thing that is important to know about this eclipse is that it is with the South Node. And a South Node eclipse is a different energy than a North Node eclipse. That North Node eclipse was like fun and exciting because it was going to bring in it, you know, the theme is destiny, life path, purpose, moving forward. I mean, all of the things that are very, very exciting about the future. But a South Node eclipse focuses on the past and on healing the past. So you better believe that you're going to feel some old stories coming back to haunt you. No, I'm just kidding. For you to notice and see, where are you still needing to heal? Like, where are you still needing to like find more compassion for yourself, for others. Libra is the sign of relationships. It is ruled by Venus, and Venus right now is in Scorpio. So there's that deep sense of, and she is the ruler of this eclipse. So there's a deep sense of inner work going underneath the surface and looking at what is in the subconscious realm, in the underground, the things that we can't see, but we know that they're there. And honestly, they're the things that if we don't like fix, heal, evolve, we'll never be able to move towards the future. That's why the South Node eclipses are very important, because they help us to realize, to see what is it that we are currently working on, what is it that still needs healing. In the sign of Libra, we're talking relationship. So these are things that will show up in relationship. And in order to heal them, the process of healing things in this way is you get triggered in a relationship, something comes up, you get emotional, you feel something, you get like whatever, triggered in whatever way. And then the trigger is there in front of you and you get to choose, well, what am I going to do with this? You know, am I going to take this down a toxic path, or am I going to choose the more mature and wise way to deal with these things? Am I going to get let myself get fully triggered, or am I going to recognize it's just a trigger and maybe I don't need to act on this? So that's more mature and more wise way of dealing with things, which I think we naturally do when we get older, but especially we do if we have like a spiritual path, a spiritual journey, where we're living life, choosing to live life in a more conscious way. And it's not easy, and it depends on you and who you are and what affects you in life and what relationships you're in and what surrounds you right now. It really depends on each person individually, but generally we're all working on these things. So this new moon solar eclipse is happening on October 2nd, of next week, 2024, at 10 degrees and 3 minutes of Libra. The significance of this eclipse is that it is the last one that we're going to see in Libra in a long time. This is because the nodes are going to change signs next year. So this is the last eclipse with the nodes aligned in the signs of Aries and Libra. And with it being a South Node eclipse, it will be the last flushing out of any toxic relationships and karmic lessons. It is our last chance to rid ourselves of what does not serve us in the realm of relationships. In general, a new moon is all about setting intentions for our new 28.5-day cycle. It is time to tune into what we want to manifest and plant the seeds that will ultimately grow from this moment on. When we have an eclipse happening at the same time, this is the universe inviting us to change. Eclipses heighten the theme of any new or full moon, and they open up portals or opportunities for us to revolutionize our lives and to evolve. So with a South Node, we are working on healing karma and on clearing karma and on releasing and letting go of the past so that we can clear the path to a new future. So let's actually take a look at the astrology of this eclipse and see what are some of the important things that are happening. So obviously, when you have a new moon, you're going to see the sun and the moon making a conjunction. A conjunction means the planets are on the same exact degree, same minutes. Sun and moon conjunctions are basically our new moon of the month. And so we have this happening at 10 degrees, just a couple of, just a few degrees away from the South Node. So you can see the South Node right there in the sign of Libra. Who do we also have here in Libra? We have Black Moon Lilith, the renegade goddess, and Mercury, the mind, the consciousness, the hermetic alchemist, the magician. He rules the energy of Gemini, but he also rules the energy of consciousness and awareness. And how do we communicate? Mercury in Libra is all about communicating with a desire for balance and harmony, for a desire for justice. And that's generally Libra represents those things. And this is again in the realm of will happen in the realm of relationship. So South Node, dealing with the past, new moon, Sun and Moon conjunct South Node. When the new moons and the full moons happen very close to the nodes, this is when the eclipses happen. And so this is again karmic healing, karmic release, but also setting intentions for the next 6 months, because the eclipses initiate a process of working through the themes that show up for the next 6 months. Now, Black Moon Lilith, I think is a really interesting one. She is the renegade goddess, and she is a rebel. She's like the rebel. She's not even in disguise. She's like a rebel in your face, you know? Lilith was the first wife of Adam, who basically cast herself out of the garden because she was just not down with the whole plan. And she wanted to do her own thing. Some believe that she was the one that gave the apple to Eve, right? So she represents, the snake in a way, which represents transformation, transmutation, transcendence. This is, Black Moon Lilith reminds us to be ourselves fully, to do the things that we love to the max. So there's a little bit of a rebel energy to this eclipse, meaning the way that we're going to heal, the way that we're going to face our triggers is you need to just freaking be your renegade goddess self or renegade god self and do what you want because you feel in your gut that that's your truth. But that's basically how Lilith works. We need to take a look at Venus because she is the ruler of this eclipse, and she finds herself over here at 11 degrees of Scorpio, with an orb of a trine to Saturn, a trine to Mars, and Mars making a trine to Saturn. So what we call this is a grand trine. And the grand trine brings in harmonious energy. Now, Venus being the ruler of this eclipse, she's in Scorpio. Scorpio is ruled by Pluto. What is Pluto doing? Pluto is over here, retrograde, at 29 degrees, holding this energy, making a sextile to Neptune, which is intuition and deep depth of understanding, spirituality, connection, deeper connection, and deeper information, deeper knowing, knowledge that comes from going beyond, underneath the surface. It's everything that is how, and it's interesting because when we talk about the gene key of this eclipse, it's called the well. And Pluto can definitely holds that energy, and so does Neptune. It's like this infinite well of like information that you can tap into, and it can be like really amazing. It can also be scary. It can also be the unknown. It can be the known. It can be all these things, the monsters under the bed, like the darkness and in the night. And but it takes us to a level of depth that is important and almost always the key to liberation. Pluto is the ultimate planet of liberation. So, and then we are closing a cycle with Pluto in Capricorn. He is going to be in Capricorn for just like a little over a month, maybe a month and a half. And then he's going to go into Aquarius, and we'll never see him in our lifetimes in Capricorn again. And the Aquarius transit is a very long one. And the Aquarius transit is very much the ushering us into a new world. In all aspects of a new world and everything that comes with it, and the whole transition that happens. When you transition ages, you see crazy things happening in the world. That's like the natural, state. It's like some things are dying while some things are being born. And that chaos is happening all at the same time. So he's like, you don't know which way to turn. But Venus, coming back to Venus, who is the ruler of this eclipse in Scorpio, she says the answers are found deeper than you think. This is not going to be surface level stuff, which means that this eclipse may feel uncomfortable, may feel too real, may feel too raw. But the key is to stick with that, to be more present with that. Mars in Cancer is telling us that you need to pay attention to your emotions, and you also need to pay attention when your emotions are out of whack and out of control. Those are not good times to like do, important work, because the work is going to come out like shit. So there's emotional intelligence required right now. There's emotional balance required. Like, we need to be our own parent. Like, we can't be going around having tantrums and then getting our way through the tantrums. Like, there's important work to be done. And so you need to like parent yourself through the difficult emotions and kind of like buckle up and be like, you're not a baby anymore. You can do this, even though it's emotionally intense. So there's a two-way street. One, emotions are definitely going to be guiding us very deeply during this time. So we need to pay attention to how we feel and the emotional waves that we go through, the highs and the lows, the ups and the downs. Pay attention to that, because they will be sometimes so strong that they will prevent you from being able to actually do stuff. And that's kind of scary to think about. For some people who have emotional authority, they know exactly what I'm talking about. That's normal and natural. But we're moving towards that too. 2027 is coming up. The raves, human design talks about like a new type of human design coming into the world, just like the projectors came in 1780, and they were the most recent type to show up on the planet. Now we're going to have the raves, and the raves are going to be like basically like superhero vibes, but connected when they come together. So it'll be about group, it'll be about community, it'll be about the penta. So it's like people coming together and working together, and their power is only turning on when they come together, when they find each other, when their auras connect to each other. I mean, imagine that world. It feels like it might be very difficult at first, but eventually when we get to that place of like, whoa, the full activation of that, like, it's going to be freaking epic. So there's two different things going on here with the emotions. And it is, yes, emotions are strong. I mean, look at all this water we have right now, right? We have Mars in Cancer, Neptune in Pisces, Saturn in Pisces, and then Venus in Scorpio. And this is the exact time of the eclipse, which is 11. It's like 12, almost 12 p.m. 11:47 in the morning on Wednesday here in Sedona or in Arizona. So it's going to be 11, almost like 3 p.m. Eastern time. But anyways, the key is happening during the day, which is always fun, especially if you got to go to work and stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, eclipses are kind of time to like do the internal work, Yeah, sometimes you'll go out and have fun and do the thing, but honestly, it might be a little too much. You might want to just kind of chill for a second. But anyways, this is the realm of relationship, Libra. So we are like being asked to do the work in the relationship realm. You can't get away from that, no matter how much you want to. So, however, the point that I was making is that there's a lot of water, there's a lot of emotion. In one way, you need to work with your emotions. Like, you need to like pay attention to your emotions. And in another way, you need to work with your emotions in the sense of like, you need to guide yourself out of the tantrum and do the thing that's important. So you need to parent yourself, and you need to also honor yourself and have compassion for yourself. And emotional realm takes time. Like, emotions are not clarity in the moment. emotions go high and they go low. And that's the language of human design. Hello, Dawn. So no clarity in the moment, in the emotional space, which means you need to give yourself time to feel what you're feeling for you to figure out what you're feeling. You know what I mean? So that is very important during this time. Deep dive into the emotional world. The key is to go deeper. Not going to be on the surface type of experience here. All right. The other thing that's going on is, let me erase some of this a little bit. So we have Uranus over here, and it's within orb making a trine to Pluto. And Uranus is bringing in the unpredictability, like the fun factor, you know, like, well, I bet you didn't think this would happen. I bet you didn't think it would happen like that, you know? So it's like it's fun, but at the same time, like, how much more can I handle unexpected news and shit like that, right? But it's a trine. So technically, that is supposed to be a positive change, a positive, unpredictable thing showing up. Not a scary or like negative one, but like an exciting one. So we got that going for us as well. And then Uranus is also making a sextile to Neptune. So it's like intuition, depth, and sudden insight, sudden knowledge, sudden things going on, big changes, all a part of this eclipse. So that's also important to notice. Now, the other thing that is actually happening is we've got Jupiter at 21 and Chiron at 21, and they're making a sextile. So again, this is really about Jupiter magnifying that theme of healing. Like the big picture is we are trying to let go of the past so that we can step into a more confident us, a more courageous us. And in that sense, like a happier us, you know? If you want to truly heal, you need to accept the flaws. You need to accept the quirkiness of you. You know, you need to open yourself up to the magic of life and allow the change to happen. Acknowledging it is the first step, but really being like, okay, now I'm going to take the action to actually make it happen, make it change. That is very, very important. And the other thing that is happening here is you've got Mars at 15 degrees, which we looked at already because he's making that grand trine, but also he's making a square within orb of a square to the eclipse, meaning that there is a challenging aspect. And the challenge is, can you do it? You know, because Mars rules Aries, and Aries is with the North Node. So this is a very interesting conversation, communication. Hello, Venus, welcome in. So can you do it? Like, almost like taunting you, you know? Kind of like a bully. Feels like kind of like bully energy to me. Like Mars is angry, you know, and he's like kind of taking it out on you. Like, well, you said you were going to do it, you know, you said you were going to, and they can bring up like and it can create the friction needed for you to actually take action. Isn't that crazy how that works? So it can actually create the friction that you need to do the healing, to clear away what does not serve you so that you can make space to bring more harmony, to bring more balance into your life, to live from that place, but also know yourself deeply. So I think this is going to be a really powerful eclipse. The best way to move through this energy is to communicate clearly and in a balanced and fair way. It is important to ask yourself what you want to commit to. If you can't commit to a relationship because it doesn't feel right or there is too much negativity attached to it, then you have to listen to that, because that is the eclipse telling you that the connection is unhealthy for you. We need to stick with people that bring more depth and intensity into our lives, healthy intensity, right? We will know who these people are because we will feel drawn to them in a healthy way. Trust your intuition at this time because it will be strong. You have the opportunity to make the right choice, but you have to go with the most mature and wise choice. Healing abounds at this time. It is literally overflowing. You can't keep doing the same thing you have always done in the past, especially when it comes to letting yourself be carried away emotionally without thinking. However, it is important that at this time you trust your emotional guidance system, because it will lead you out of the past and into the future and destiny of your relationships. This is a time of spiritual awakening and evolutionary change. Be brave and let your spirit guide you to a new path. Accept the challenge and go without looking back. That's from my book, what I wrote about this eclipse. So what we're going to do now is go into the gene key of this eclipse, which is the 48th gene key. And I want to read to you about the Siddhic frequency, which is the divine frequency of this energy, and about what this energy, really represents. So let me just do a little bit of clearing up my screen here. All right. So this new moon solar eclipse is happening on the 48th gene key, which is described as the wonder of uncertainty. It moves from the shadow of inadequacy to the gift of resourcefulness to the city of wisdom. So those are interesting, beautiful flow of energy. But what is this city of wisdom all about? The beyondness of being and not being. The 48th city of wisdom is one of the truly great cities. Wisdom has been revered and sought by all cultures since the beginning of time. There are many definitions of wisdom, most of them based on the notion of some kind of inner knowledge that allows you to see beyond the confines of what is considered normal awareness. Collectively, the 64 gene keys represent an encyclopedia of the 64 archetypes, or codes within the human continuum. At the Siddhic level, however, this differentiated continuum ceases to exist. Each city uses its own paradoxical language to address that which lies beyond words. In this context, the 48th city is the great archetype of the beyond self. It is something all human beings aspire to, and at the same time, it is something that terrifies us. The 48th city opens up the void inside you. In a human being, it is the primal state of not knowing. It is a most delightful and infuriating paradox that wisdom arrives through not knowing rather than through knowing. Knowing, i.e., knowledge, is something we can always gather from life and experience. To know takes great effort and exertion, whereas not knowing is already there inside you. Everything about wisdom is about being unsafe and insecure. There is a great difference between being insecure and being unsecure. To be insecure is to be kidnapped by fear and taken on an illusory journey that promises final redemption, but can never deliver it. The journey is the human journey, and it is ultimately discovered as meaningless. There are simply no solutions because there is no problem in the first place. To be unsecure on the other hand, is to have embraced your urge to escape fear in every way possible. It is to realize that your body itself is not afraid to die. It is absolutely natural for your body to die. Neither is the mind really afraid to die, since the mind is just an aspect of the functioning of your body. But when it is inside us human beings, what is it inside us human beings that is afraid to die? The answer to this question is the source of true wisdom. It is the ultimate solution to all our human questions and problems. Only life can answer this question. No words can point to the grand illusion of our existence. When the body dies, its constituent elements will return to the great web of life and continue to be endlessly recycled throughout the universe. What then remains of you? The answer to all such questions is another single question, and no matter what the question, the return question is always the same. Which us, which you, which me? There is no me, you, or us. To be unsecure is to be more secure than is possibly imaginable. To be unsecure is to surrender all your inner questions back into the infinite. There is a wonderful story about the great Indian sage Bodhidharma arriving before the Chinese emperor with the shoe on his head. When the emperor asked him the meaning of the shoe, he replied that he wanted the emperor to know right away what kind of man he was dealing with. This story is symbolic of the unsecure nature of true wisdom. It will not and cannot be comprehended by the mind. From time immemorial, humans have intuitively grasped that wisdom is feminine in essence. The great goddesses of many cultures are representations of this understanding, but wisdom itself is beyond opposites. The nature of the feminine simply points the way towards this embodiment. The images that have been used to describe wisdom are thus feminine in nature. Water, wells, springs, valleys, and darkness are all examples. Water is one of the greatest symbols for the nature of wisdom because its nature is paradoxical. It is empty, yet full, weak, yet strong, resistant, yet yielding. Ultimately, it shapes itself to the vessel it is held in, and when the vessel has gone, it dissipates, yet lives on. One who is truly wise is like water in all these ways. You are wise because you do not know you are wise. You are powerful because you do not care about power. You are fearless because you do not really exist. The question of all seekers of wisdom is how to attain it. This is the question of the heart of all the mysteries, at the heart of all the mysteries and of all the great religion and sciences. Modern science continues to try and find the single unified theory that will resolve all questions about the universe. Humanity does not yet realize that the answer to this question will not resolve the universe. It will dissolve the universe. The answer lies within the question itself, just as it lies within the individual. The only true manifestation of wisdom is complete ordinariness. When the city dawns within an individual, a paradoxical sentence itself, that individual ceases to exist, but becomes an aspect of the whole, functioning spontaneously and innocently. The irony is that exactly what the individual was before wisdom, the irony is that this is exactly what the individual was before wisdom occurred. In other words, wisdom changes nothing inside us. It is the realization that brings about wisdom. This realization that brings about wisdom. There is nothing wiser in all of humanity than the physical body. When a human being discovers this secret, they begin to tap the source of universal wisdom. Wisdom is rooted in utter trust of your body. Whoa. Through the eyes of wisdom, everything within the sphere of human experience can be reduced to the simple physical sensation, even thinking. The body must be allowed to feel what it feels. It must be allowed to think the way it thinks. It must be allowed to act the way it acts. Nothing the body does can ever be wrong. It is the false concept that there is a way to be harmonious and a way to be inharmonious that is a root of all human dilemmas. There is nothing but harmony, and there is nothing but wisdom. You must come to realize through whatever experiences the body follows that your acts, thoughts, and movements emerge from the totality rather than having an independent source. Not only is there no individual choice in our lives, there is no chooser. So the whole concept of freedom or determinism goes out the window. We began this 48th gift by seeing how inadequate human beings can feel when faced with the many challenges we each have in life. We are designed to feel this inadequacy because it is the beginning of our journey. There is wisdom even within this inadequacy because it is felt by the body. Your mental anxiety is also an aspect of your bodily wisdom, as are your desires, fantasies, anger, contempt, and lust. Everything begins with the body and ends with the body. If every feeling is allowed and lived out fully and in trust, then this deep inner vibration of fear within you must eventually fizzle out. The fear is really the fear of fear itself. And when it is looked squarely in the face, then all other fears are simply reduced to bodily sensations that continually arise and disappear again. At this stage of deep wisdom, you can no longer discriminate between physical sensations. The feeling of intense bliss, for example, is no different from the feeling of lust or even physical pain. The body simply follows its own wisdom, and this wisdom dissolves that which identifies with the sensations. As we said earlier, what the 48th city leaves behind is an absolute ordinary human being. Wow. So this is deep. This is deep. And this is the gate in human design that I believe is found in the spleen. And it connects to the throat, the 1648. And it's the deep well and the energy that basically wants to pull from that deep well and use things, and express itself. And it's actually going to be a really cool human design transit reading when we go into it and read about it. But the wonder of uncertainty, it's being okay with not knowing and realizing that is the true wisdom, that it's not really about how much information you accumulate, that it's all about you surrendering to the wisdom of your body, because your body is divine, right? Your body is the incarnation of the spirit. Soul descends into matter. And that's literally everything that has to do with all of our spirituality, all our connection to God, all of the chakras, the centers of the body. So when you are in this knowing, when you listen, surrender to your body just knows what to do. And that's spleen energy. That's very splenic. Your body says yes and no in ways that is very instinctual. You don't have to think about it. It's like, did you ever wonder, where does that come from? That's the well that this is talking about. And that's the well that we are tapping into during this eclipse. And this is the invitation that we get from the universe, from the astrology, to tap into that sacred wisdom by how? The answer, living your life in an ordinary way and just letting your body wisdom carry you forward. I think it's going to be a beautiful energy and very deep again, but also really grounding, I think, bringing us back to the present, bringing us back to right here. And I feel like when we are more present with ourselves and we pay attention to everything around us. And so as people come into and out of our lives, we gain deeper understanding because we tune into energy and we can read energy, right? We can read each other's energy. And when we understand the naturalness that our body needs when it comes to all kinds of things, exercise, food, like what does your body want to eat? What does it want to do for exercise? You know, truly listening to that. I mean, you do have to cleanse though, because if your body is all toxified, then it's going to be hard to communicate with your body and know what it wants. Because it's like you block the communication systems when you eat crap, you know, especially things like sugar and, you know. So yes, it takes time. Again, coming back to that whole frequency of like this takes time. But the more that you can trust your body, meaning you have to take the time to know what your body wants. What does your body say yes to? What does your body say no to? Do you force it? Do you force your body when it doesn't want things? Or vice versa? Do you not give your body what it wants because you don't think it's the right thing? Those are good questions. Either way, this is going to be a powerful opportunity for us to trust and to live. Just come back to everything that brings simplicity and ordinariness into your life and see what happens. So I hope you enjoy this beautiful eclipse. I hope you enjoy this energy, this frequency. I'll be going live on next week to do the human design reading, and I'll be doing the ceremony as well for the eclipse. And this weekend on Sunday, I'm going to be doing free mini readings, eclipse readings. So come join us on Sunday at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, and we're going to just have some fun, pull some cards. I'm going to do readings for everyone, not for everyone, but you know what I mean, for the eclipse. We're going to play some games, and if you win the games, then you win the reading. And then don't forget that next week we have our Moon Goddess Akashic Healing Retreat. It's a virtual event, completely free to attend. It is 5 days of hanging out with us, doing Kundalini yoga, doing chakra clearing, doing Akashic journeys, meditations, sound baths, and yin yoga with Tori. And we will be doing readings for you guys. It's going to be super fun. So come join us, totally free to attend. Again, the link is below in the description. Thank you guys all so much for being here, being a part of this community. And I will see you all again next time. Sat Nam.